Welcome back to the channel, Warhammer Man back in the studio, and today we're taking a look at an Adeptus Custodes ShadowKeepers Commission. Before we get started, if you're not familiar with the channel, we do everything from painting tutorials, magnetizing, conversions. I show off a lot of my commissions when they're completed, but also show you how to do them yourself, how to do custom basing, as well as reviews, unboxings, everything you can imagine, from magnetizing everything from 40k, fantasy or Sigmar, Necromunda, basically anything Games Workshop, including like rules, reviews, and upcoming releases, etc. So make sure you like and subscribe, share with your friends as well. So in this commission we have a ShadowKeepers Army that I just completed. There are 10 regular Adeptus Custodes, including 2 banner bearers that are magnetized. We have it led by Trajann Valoris, and then we also have a Telemann Dreadnought, 12 of the jet bikes, including 2 shield captains, one of which has the Relic jet bike. And those are magnetized bases and also the spear arms. And then finally we have 12 of the Allarus Custodes terminators. There's 2 shield captains out of the jet bikes, one with the Relic bike, and then we have one of the terminators is made up to look where he could easily be used as a shield captain instead of standard terminator, and then also one of the standard custodes as well. So, but we can take a closer look. If you hadn't checked out the previous video, I do show off exactly how I converted the zone mortalis bases. I did not do a painting video for how I painted these, but possibly do one in the future if people are interested as well. So here we have a this one is the shield captain from the Allarus terminators, or could be used as the shield captain, and basically the only thing that's different is he has the fancy shoulder pads on him, but you can see overall typically I wouldn't use the similar color scheme on the bases as I use on the models, but the client specifically requested like the similar colors, so I went ahead and did that, obviously per his request, but just made sure they looked sort of like washed out compared to like the bright like glimmer of the models themselves. The typical 40mm bases in the pictures here are the regular zone mortalis bases with just a little bit of like sand and rubble added, and then also obviously skulls. The armor on these models is airbrushed using Dark Reaper and then Mechanicus Standard gray, and then just a little bit of like a lighter gray as well, and then overall they're painted. Oh, and also the weapons themselves are airbrushed purple to like almost a white color, and then obviously everything is gold, Retributor armor, Leadbelcher, and then corn red, or I'm sorry, I think that was the Blood Angels red I used for them actually. I'll have a note in the comments as well, but just kind of showing off a couple of the models here. Overall, very, very happy with how they came out. I like the airbrush kind of glow of the weapons. The client specifically wanted the grim dark aesthetic in this army. He didn't want them to be like overly like bright and shiny, which I think the ShadowKeepers are perfect for, and from what I understand, their rules in this edition are phenomenal as well. So you can kind of see I did like a Zenithal. This one here is again more of like a shield captain type look, so he has like the gold trim around his shoulder pads, as where like all the rest of the custodes have like the regular like black armor. So again, he could easily blend in with the squad if you just want to use him as a regular guy, but then also just for a little bit of versatility for army building, you can use him as a shield captain if you wanted a shield captain on foot, obviously, as well. So but very cool. You can kind of see like the dark from underneath compared to like how they look a little brighter. Sometimes it's hard to tell with the lights. And then we got a couple, it was 5 and 5, one of each with the standard. So 4 have the sword and board, and then 4 have the spears as well. So, but I try to make sure that the poses look different. Make sure that the armor itself isn't just like a regular old black, that it like shows up as like the different levels. So here we got one of the standards right there. Obviously important to have 1 or 2 of these in your army, as they provide some awesome bonuses like the -1 to hit. Magnetize the arms so that he can easily be transported and everything. This one has the shield, which is really important, obviously, to make sure your character doesn't get killed when he has like such a sweet bonus like that. Then here we have one with the spear right here, and again you can see like the subtle glow on the spears came out really nice. It kind of just like shows off like the brightness of the weapon, or the energy, but without like taking away and making the army overall just look like too bright and shiny, which is what we're looking to avoid. So, and again here we have one with the spear. I try to do like all different poses. This one's like reaching for his dagger basically. Next here we have Trajann Valoris, And once again, I wanted him to stand out on the battlefield, but without being like too overly bright. So I used like a blue as sort of like the backdrop for the feathers, and then just kind of faded it to gray. I think it came out really nice. It kind of draws your attention to his face, to his weapon. And then his is the first of the converted bases as well. So I basically used some of the smaller bases. I go through the whole process and show off exactly how I did it. But cut a couple of those up. And then added on like some rubble bits, some skulls, and then his little rock that he stands on as well. And then obviously you can see like the detail on the face. I do assemble and paint these models in sub-assemblies just so that I make sure to capture like all the details. A lot of times it's hard to get to like little bits and pieces if you put it all together first. So I haven't glued on the shoulder pads on this guy quite yet just because I just finished painting him. So a lot of times like, you know, I will paint the head separately, and in this case, like the shoulder pads and top bit. Having a little trouble getting the zoom right on this guy. There we go. So there you can see, get a better idea of the actual base itself and everything. This was one of the ones I showed off in the video, how I made it and everything. Made sure to, you know, add in ample wash, so it did look like washout. Add in ample rubble to kind of cover up like some of the gaps and everything. But when it's all said and done, you know, it matches like perfectly. I considered like 3D printed alternatives and stuff, but they just didn't quite match perfectly. And because it's a commission and everything, you know, the most important thing is for it to look good. The least important is obviously like the cost on my end. I need it to look like basically perfect so the client's pleased with it. And you'll see I magnetize multiple ways on these. One so the fist can actually like rotate, and then once at like the shoulder or elbow joint right there. So you have like a couple different points of like articulation on him. Having some trouble with the camera zooming on this guy for whatever reason. You can see how bright like that Talisar gold is too on the weapon. I'm absolutely loving that color. That was a stellar paint from Games Workshop if you like to do like the plasma effects. And again, you can see the magnetization here, and then again at the waist as well. Just gives him like a little extra articulation, so you can kind of move him around and show him off there. And then obviously the missiles as well. Again, the shoulder pads aren't glued on yet. I will glue those before they go out. The head's not glued as well. Sometimes I'll leave that. It won't like actually fall out of there, but you can like make it look in different directions. Working perfect on him. But the main purpose of that is not only just to articulate him, but to be able to transport him a little easier as well. So, but he came out real cool. And then we've got our Vertus Praetors jet bikes as well. So this one here is the first of the two shield captains. So his only like main altercation to the overall look is I just take off that back fin and then add on the cape. I do have a video where I show off how I did that. This is pretty basic, obviously. And then also, you know, magnetize his right spear arm there. And then also magnetize the base itself so that the flight stand can be removed. And then again, you can see this one's made from like two of the standard size, like 30mm bases with some bits from like a smaller base on the sides. And then I added in like some rocks and rubble. And then obviously the flight stand and the magnets. And then next we have, this is the Relic jet bike conversion. I show off how to make these specifically, but the main conversions are the addition of like the wings from the standard onto the sides there. I cut off like the little bit of drapery bits. And then I add in the cape obviously as well. I leave the chains on the little wings there, and then I add the shield, storm shield to the front as well. And you know, that has like the special jet bike Relic rules there and distinguishes him as obviously like the main leader. So and then you can see once again I use like that Talisar for like the computer screen, not only on his arm or on the bike, but on his arm as well. And again, this painted in like all sub assemblies so that you capture like all the full details. And then magnetized. Once again, you can kind of see like how I put together like the bases with some smaller bases kind of combined, little bits of rubble, sand, and then obviously like some skulls as well. So overall, you know, they match perfectly. You know, if you look specifically at them, you can tell where I've like kind of combined them together to create the overall look. But, you know, for the final look and product and something that's not available, I think they came out phenomenally. If you liked the video today, sorry about the issues. I'm still experimenting with this camera, so the zoom's not always working out. But if you like this ShadowKeepers commission, feel free to share this on various social medias, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out some of the previous videos on how I make the custom bases, how I paint them, how I magnetize, all kind of good stuff available on the channel. I do appreciate any likes, subscribes, and shares. Obviously, I think this commission came out phenomenally. It's getting ready to go out the door, and I know the client will be happy with it as well. I have never done ShadowKeepers before, and typically stay away from like the grim dark aesthetic and try to do like a little more like bright and flashier looking stuff. But I'm very happy with how this came out, and I know he will be as well. So make sure you tune in for our next video update. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.